Carrying on from part 1, we had this empowering message from Big Mama Odalina. See your truth and step forward into it. Change is hard, but you have to move forward. Otherwise, you're stuck in lameness and in pain and smallness, which isn't who you truly are. Now let's see what else she has to say and what else she would like to teach Ben and the rest of us.
I suppose for me at the moment, practically I don't understand necessarily stepping into truth, what that truth is going to look like, but that may become clearer in time.
Yeah.
And
I think that's why the initial message from her was, what is your truth?
Yeah.
Figure that out. Find congruence with that in yourself, your whole self. Mental, emotional, spiritual, cellular, every level. And once you can align fully with that truth and integrate it through your whole self, now you're ready to play, right?
Yeah.
So what's coming to me as part of this discussion is our definitions of feminine. From what you've said just now, it's feminine seems to be a very girly, sweet, dancing, light, softer. What other adjectives could we give it? That when you say
gentle.
feminine, gentle, yes. And these are all human constructs.
Yeah.
These are all human boxes, and they don't exist in the world of nature.
No.
So in nature we have, so here comes, let's watch her as I speak.
Oh yeah, she's gonna give us a show.
In nature we have masculine and feminine, but it is not the way humans classify it. So here you have a most feminine of females, Sione. She has borne, we don't even know how many foals. She has nursed those foals. She has nurtured them. And yet this action you've just seen, according to human terms, how feminine was that?
No, yeah.
Right? And then we come into another aspect of, if we want to talk about the feminine, then let's talk about all the aspects of the feminine, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fierce feminine.
Yeah.
And that exists in male and female humans. So you as a gender male still have a fierce feminine, right? You have a soft and lovely and nurturing feminine. I have a fierce feminine, and then I have a masculine, right? And I have a masculine that's very focused on actioning and doing and being the change that I want to see in the world, and generating enough money energy to make that happen. Like, these are all the masculine attributes. I have those 100%. So do you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we take it out of the human boxes of masculine and feminine, and for what I find really useful is put them in the horse boxes for masculine and feminine. Makama Pei right here, for almost every human female who's come here, we feel him as so soft and gentle and sweet. And almost every male that's come here sees him as so powerful. So it's like he shows different aspects of himself to different human genders. It's like really weird.
Yeah.
But of course, even though for me he presents as soft and sweet because I have a very loving relationship with him, I 100% see his power. I see he's a warrior soul. So even though he doesn't present like that to me, those aspects of him are still fully present. And they're not something that he has to choose between. So I guess that's what's coming through.
It's all embodied in one.
We don't have
You don't have to choose.
No.
Just
here comes fierce feminine herself.
Yeah, there she is. She keeps walking by you very closely. She's working with you. That's the second time.
Yeah, and she came and stood with me a lot while I was scooping the poo. And then I came and I dumped, and she was around the other side of the pond staring at me, and then
So
she's-
before we came out, I think you'd gone to dump the poo. I can't remember, but she came up and she was like, "Ben's next. Got my eye on Ben. He's next."
yeah,
I said, "Okay,
yeah,
he's here to do it. So look out."
yeah. It's interesting to me that, like, maybe as a child, my expression of femininity, like, it felt good to wear a dress with my female friends and that sort of thing. But it's like, now there's no desire to wear a dress, for instance. Interestingly, I feel like through meeting you, I feel like I can see someone who, in the future, I think would become similar, or that I feel like I could stand in a similar fierce place. But I suppose, like you say, it's this whole embodied.
Yeah, because
being human.
I breastfed for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't breastfed night and day for 5 years if you are not soft and nurturing and in the full mama giving, loving, supporting energy.
Yeah.
And as a child, I did not define myself as male or female. I looked
Interesting.
at girls and I was like, I am not that. And I looked at boys and I was like, and I sure as heck ain't that.
Yeah.
But that didn't leave me confused. That left me going, I'm just Jeannie.
Yeah.
So I, as a child, did not need a gender.
Yeah.
And I also didn't need a culture. I looked at my Indian family in Kenya and I was like, and they were so patriarchal and so chauvinistic. And I was like, that's screwed. By the age of 3, my uncle had nicknamed me foreigner. So at 3 years old, I rejected a patriarchal culture because I was like, that's not right. So, and then people say, oh, I feel, and I'm like multiracial. So people are like, well, I don't fit there. And I'm like, I just fit everywhere. So much of it is perspective.
Yeah.
I could say, well, I'm biracial or I'm multiracial, so I don't fit anywhere and I'm rootless and I don't know who I am. Or I could say, I'm like generic ethnic and I feel like I belong everywhere.
Yes.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Right? And same thing with genders. I never felt I needed to choose. I still don't say, do I have to define myself as a woman or a male? No. I just need to be Jeannie.
Yeah. Just a human showing up as a human.
And there's like, if you walk into a business meeting with me, I might go in as feminine and in the feminine aspect. And I'm concerned that everybody's needs are getting taken care of for the win-win. But then depending on the energies and things that are there in the business negotiation, okay, now my masculine's going to rise.
Yeah.
Because it needs to and it's appropriate. And then I switch and I go back to the feminine. And to have that fluidity to say we don't have to choose. We don't have to be all one or the other.
Yeah.
And to just, I would even get rid of those terms and just go like Juliet asked you in the beginning, who are you really?
Yeah.
Like no labels, no boxes. You're like Makama Pei. Who is this being?
Yeah.
He is not a he. Like we need I wish there was a non-gender pronoun.
Yeah, and English is limited in that way.
Yeah, somebody needs to come up with one, but until they do, this being, who and what is this being?
Yeah.
Right? And that's really the only question. And can this being allow itself to express different aspects, not only in different times of the day, in different periods of life, over time and as the years pass, right? If I'm training martial arts 6 times a week, I'm really in my masculine. Right? Because I'm beating on people for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then I get pregnant and I'm breastfeeding for 10 years. Masculine's gone, feminine's in full. I'm like so far in the feminine, I wouldn't even spar you if you asked me to, because I'm like, I don't even have the hormones for that. I'm like, this is oxytocin lives here now.
Yeah.
Progesterone dominant, so it's like we can flux over the course of our lifetime as well. And then when we give ourselves permission, we give our children permission, we give our partners permission, we give our friends permission, like everybody
We give our ancestral line permission.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're often gifted things in our lifetime that we have the opportunity to clear. And it's like your whole DNA can be cleared of any restrictive patterning like that, you know?
Yeah.
When you rise to heal it. Even though it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I think too, for me, as in my 20s, I did quite a bit of past life exploration. And so I re-experienced lives where I was a man. And I re-experienced lives where I was a female and a woman and a girl, and all through the stages. And that's when you really realize that these are just games.
Yeah.
Right? These are really literally just like, I'm going to put on this thing for a while. And this is the play that I'm in, and I'm playing this character. And, you know, and then when I hear of, you know, the whole transgender thing, and people are like, I'm born in the wrong body. Like, for me, the question I would be asking myself is, if I align more with a human female, why did I choose a male body for this lifetime? That's the real question for me. Like, what was it that I had in mind that I wanted to dance with in this form? Because you didn't have to choose to be male. You could, and I know that from seeing myself and choosing my incarnations. You get to choose. So if you chose this form, what is the purpose of that? And then that just opens up, you know, a whole, instead of going, this is a mistake, and my whole life I'm going to be focused on getting out of this place. You chose this place. Look up. Oh, wow.
Can you even see? I'm not. Oh, yeah, kind of. Wow. Straight line.
1,
That's
2,
where you
3,
need to go.
5, 6, 7, 8. And they're flashing and winking like they're silver.
Wow.
They're still in a perfectly straight. So what does that mean to you, Ben? In the context of what we're talking about, when you see that winking white and silver in a straight line, still in a straight line.
Yeah. It's amazing. And this is the second one following.
And a big sigh from Zeta, a massive big sigh from Zeta.
Odie's just behind you guys.
There's Big Mama. What does that strike you as?
Nothing's clear to me about that right now.
Nothing struck you as that looks or that feels like. I bet you it's going to come clear for you.
Yeah.
That was such a, like, that's like a freaking billboard with lights on it, as far as I'm concerned.
I need to,
Those
explore that a bit more.
those were geese, right? Snow white geese.
Actually, I would ask you to turn back around again, Ben. She's working on the backside of your heart chakra, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, it's good.
She's working with you right now. She wants to come up to you if you feel safe. Stand however you feel comfortable.
Okay.
If you want to engage with her, do whatever feels good. She's ready to work with you now. I hear her saying open to possibilities. Open to the possibilities of who you could be, who you actually are, what you want. Don't be afraid of the truth.
Truthfully, I feel like endlessly complex, but it's not necessarily complex in a muddy way, but so changeable and colourful. And like I've come out of the experience of quarantining in an RV with my brother for 2 weeks, And he talks about he can see me throughout the day shift into this space where he said that he can see I'm very feminine, and then an hour later I could be very masculine. And that feels really authentic to me.
I hear her saying that's who you are. And allow yourself to be that without judgment or needing it to be different. Right? Or trying to figure out, why am I that way? Maybe that's just how you are. And can you give yourself permission to be that fully? Right? And let that understanding of yourself echo all the way through, like we talked about before. Right? That deep level of acceptance. You know, whatever it was that you did not experience, that your mom was not able to give you when she was not receiving of your hug and love in that moment, can you give that to yourself? Can you receive it from Odie right now?
I suppose like in that moment I was just I was feeling uncomfortable and I was looking for comfort. And it's like, where can I find that comfort within myself?
Someone to confirm or accept for me that I'm okay exactly as I am. No matter how I show up, I'm okay. Right? I'm enough. I'm exactly as I'm supposed to be. Yeah, go for it. If you feel called to work with her leg or touch her, do it.
So she's saying to me that, Juliet, if you scratch her belly, she'll hold her leg for Ben. She's like, there needs to be a trade here.
I also hear her saying to you, Ben, find the balance.
Find the what?
Find the balance.
You hear her telling Ben, find the balance?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Oh, Odie.
By that, I felt like don't necessarily be completely feminine in this moment, and really gentle and like with the foot, but also okay, no, maybe not.
Or no, stay with it.
Or I needed to find that balance between the feminine and the masculine, and kind of
So you went a little more forceful. You went a little more into your masculine.
yes,
And she pulled, and then she stamped her foot down, and you went, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have been masculine. But what if that's not what she's saying?
Yeah.
What if she's saying, you get to be masculine and I get to be masculine too?
Because the other thing I heard was that, like, something we've talked about, which is that you can hold all of that in yourself and give yourself permission to go as masculine as you need to and as feminine as you need to. And the balance is that you have that available to you at any point.
yes,
You don't have to go into one more than the other.
Yeah.
And then every moment that you find yourself in, you choose the balance, right?
Yes.
Which, like what Jeannie was saying before. And as you were standing there with her, she just created this huge energy field, right? And within it, she was like, this is the balance, right? This is the balance of what we need in this moment right now for this healing, is to hold this resonance, right?
Yeah.
And so then how do you find that in yourself? So what is that resonance? Like masculine to feminine, how much of this, how much of that? And maybe it changes in a
within
second.
each moment. Yeah,
Within each moment.
And don't be looking to her for approval of your choices and your balance. Just flow. If you bring too much masculine and her masculine rises, okay, pull back or flow into it, or rise your masculine, like feel for it.
yes,
There's no, I think what she's saying is you need to have an experience with a really powerful female like her of flowing those two energies without being afraid of doing the right thing or how the other person will respond, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give yourself full permission. You can't hurt her,
yes.
right?
Okay.
You can't offend her. You can piss her off, but you just say, I'm sorry, forgive me. She'll forgive you in a second. She has the hugest heart in the world. So
like, and rub my belly more, please.
yeah, she goes, you scratch my udder, it's all good.
She's like, okay, let Jeannie talk, scratch my udder.
I suppose as well, it's like with not fully accepting men as they show up.
Yes.
It's like I'm not allowing men to be fully masculine, and accepting that in them, and having that just be all right.
Yeah.
And then I suppose that also leads into like, how do I show up when I am with men? And I suppose I'm a bit more uncompromising about also showing up masculine to be able to I would rather just avoid being with men than stepping into that space where we can both kind of flow back and forward and kind
Yes.
of, you know, express ourselves equally. And maybe when I'm with me, I do need to be that bit more masculine so that I can hold my center and set my boundaries.
Yeah,
And they're also able to do that as well.
exactly.
I can't just expect that other people are going to do as I wish and treat me the way that I want every moment. I have to exercise my boundaries
Yeah.
and show them, and I'm in charge of what is and isn't acceptable.
And you're responsible for your
myself.
body and your
Yeah.
safety, and you can't give that away to anybody else.
No.
No, and you can always leave.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
always get up and walk away.
Yeah. I suppose it leads back into like when I had that sexual experience with that older guy, I did just give myself away and I didn't hold those boundaries.
Yeah. And that's how we learn.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
how we learn, right?
Yeah.
In life, when we're softer, we learn those things the hard way, right?
Yeah.
Because we have to push right up against the experience of the boundary being plundered,
Yeah.
and then going, hey, that didn't feel good. I don't
No.
want that to happen to me anymore. But the learning is that you can't expect the other person to have your best interest at heart,
No.
or to take responsibility for where that boundary needs to be, right? And the learning is, I'm the warrior that will defend myself.
Yes.
I'm always going to be that. I need to be that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not about the person, somebody else didn't do it for me, and how painful that is, or how hurt I feel because someone didn't care for me or save me or,
Yeah.
you know, protect me in that moment.
Like, Mama, she's
Like,
moving
Mama.
over. You get out the way. You don't go, oh, Mama, you're stepping on my foot. You
Yeah.
broke my foot. It's yours. No, you move.
She's like, the bomb's coming through, time to go.
Yeah.
Here she goes. But that's the learning, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to go, oh, I'm the one that gets to do that,
Yeah.
right? And demand that my boundary is honored.
Yeah. It's like Rapunzel, instead of being the damsel in distress, like climb your own way out of that castle.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
your own white knight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No,
don't
you don't
need
need
to-
anybody to save you.
Because it's
No.
not even a demand that your boundary be honored. It's that you hold your boundary, and if someone's crashing through it, you leave,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
right?
Would you like me to start with this week?
Ben, do you know that's that leg that is not injured?
Yes.
Okay.
I felt earlier that she may want me to get anything that may feel a little bit uncomfortable out of this one, so then she
Okay.
can fully put her weight in it to be able to pick up
Right.
the other one.
Okay, so what I would suggest, because I don't think she can put her weight on the other one,
So maybe that.
just if she can tip that hoof up, maybe you could clean it for her, but I don't think she can pick it up.
Okay. That was,
She's like, Ben, do you know how heavy I am?
Yes, honey.
That's a whole lot of mama.
Yes. A lot of mama. Thank you, mama. She's such a good teacher. I keep thinking how generous of her to use her precious body to teach us
Yeah.
humans how to grow.
Yeah,
It's pretty
exactly.
awesome. It's humbling, really.
He's scratching a good spot there.
and it's also interesting because like she's allowing me to touch her body, but I'm going, okay, I want to pick up this hoof.
Yeah.
And she's going, no, my boundaries
Yeah.
are that I'm not going to let you pick up this hoof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if she doesn't want help with that hoof,
No.
that's her choice.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs to limp for. We don't know what's happening with her body.
No.
It's her body. I am freezing.
I know, me too. Super cold.
All the scratches.
And now, my turn. My turn for something nice.
Shortly after this, Juliet and I left Ben alone with Odie. He quickly discerned that the issue was not with her hoof at all, it was with her stifle. Perhaps she sprained or strained it while running or wrestling with the other horses. His idea matched my idea, which was to put a DMSO solution on the stifle, and Odie wanted Ben to apply it to her leg. Within 3 days, you could barely discern a limp, and within 5 days, she was back out with her herd, moving normally, galloping, and everything else that she normally does. When we receive the message the horse is sending us through their physical body, the illness or injury can leave their physical body very quickly, because the point was never about their injury. The point was about them using the injury to teach us something important.